Alright, time to be a super duper whooper pooper epic YouTuber. But what do I make a video on? On June 23rd, 1991, a company known as Sega released a little game called Sonic the Hedgehog. And it wasn't very good. Just kidding. Sonic was a massive hit back in 91. So naturally this led to sequels, cartoons, spin-offs, merchandise, and in this case, books! And I'm not talking about the Archie and Fleetway Sonic comics that I remember more fondly now. I'm talking about the officially licensed UK Sonic the Hedgehog yearbooks. These books were released back in the early 90s during the peak of Sonic's popularity, the first one releasing in 1992 and the second in 1994. And I remember getting these for Christmas back in 2019. And I remember having my fun with them, but back then I was a stupid 9-year-old who doesn't know any better. Now I'm a stinky old teenager, so you know what that means? Okay, so before I properly start this review, might as well get this out of the way. I managed to find a digital scan of the first Sonic yearbook thanks to this absolute bro on Sonic Retro, Fred Wood. But unfortunately, I couldn't find a scan for the second yearbook, so I'm gonna have to use my phone to record footage of it. It's fun, isn't it? So enough stalling, let's get into the first yearbook. Okay, not a bad cover. If you ignore the incredibly drunk boss bomber and Tails' head dislocating. At least Sonic looks pretty good, as well as Dr. Robotnik. And interesting, looks like the great Martin Robotnik with the Adventures of Sonic Robotnik's outfit. Interesting. We turn the page and... we get some blurry screenshots from Sonic 2. Okay, I mean the second page is slightly more interesting because some of the screenshots are actually from early builds of Sonic 1 and 2. Woo! And we kick off with our first comic. Cartoon How the hell did you say it?
Concerto.
Thank you. We begin with Sonic running through Marble Zone, collecting rings and all that jazz. But there's this unintentionally funny bit where Sonic completely contradicts the narrator and it cracks me up. But collecting rings can be tricky. Easy as pie. Yeah, narrator, you clearly haven't played Sonic 1 because collecting rings is the easiest thing ever! And then we cut to Dr. Robotnik watching Discount Tom and Jerry, and after watching it, he hatches his next plan to defeat Sonic, copying the stuff he saw in the cartoons to defeat him. Oh boy, I can't wait to see this backfire! So he gallivants off to Marble to paint a fake tunnel with an additional road for good measure, and whoa! Eggman, you okay? Why do you have white pupils? And oh boy, here comes our favourite blue rat on his way to destroy those badniks, while Ricky makes a crap pun, and Sonic runs through the tunnel. Well, you might have to go catch him. Oh no, he ran into the tunnel that he painted. Oh no. Well, that didn't work, so Robotnik goes to get some magnetized rings, paints them, puts them in the air, okay, and gets a big old magnet to magnet Sonic right into his grasp once he collects the rings. Okay, we got to Sonic grabbing the fake rings and manages to outrun the magnet, so Eggman, like a complete fool, runs in front of the magnet and gets run over by it. He said the thing! For Robotnik's final desperate attempt to catch Sonic, he paints glue onto the ground, so Sonic gets stuck and the lava burns him to death. Okay, Egg, that's a bit morbid, don't you think? Oh, he actually agrees with me. And predictably, Sonic manages to speed through the glue like nobody's business. I mean, I saw it coming, the story's pretty predictable. So Robotnik gets angry, gets stuck in the glue, and dies. Just kidding, he's fine. Well, as predictable as it was, I actually really enjoyed this story. The art is really solid and can be pretty funny sometimes. Anyway, let's move on. The next page is about some dude interviewing Sonic the Hedgehog himself, and asks Sonic to tell him about his origin. You know, the origin that was in the Sonic Bible? And the Fleetway comics? Remember that? It's basically Sonic summarizing that for a couple pages. Okay, let's move on, I'm getting bored. Ooh, okay, a Sonic balloon and a motor racing Grand Prix. Interesting stuff. A Sega Games quiz to get the brain juices pumping. Sign me up! All we want is the name of the dolphin. Okay, don't need to be so passive-aggressive. I know the answer. It's Echo the Dolphin. Reflections in the water. Can you reflect and name this game? Ah, yes. It's Diet Coke Super Mario Bros. It's Kid Chameleon. An easy one. We want the full title of the game for a correct answer. Yes, I definitely know the answer. It's the Duck Arcade prototype of Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, I dragged this apart for too long. Let's move on. Ah, here we go. Another comic. Speed Demons with a Z. Oh, sorry, a Z! The story begins with Sonic casually running through Spring Out Zone and comes across some badniks. Oh no. Oh. Hey, Krabby. Krabby. You doing alright? You look a bit sick. Did Robotnik inject you with something bad, or are you just really tired? You doing alright, Krabby? Never mind, he's dead. Now the main plot point of the comic kicks in. Robotnik is inserting a turbo boost into the X-Mobile called the Turbo Boost. Creative name, I know. And he's putting it in to outrun Sonic and finally exterminate him. Wow, funny. Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention about basically all these comics is that Robotnik really likes doing egg puns. I really don't know why, and I really don't care. We cut back to our blue hero doing things and stuff, and muttering to himself about whatever, but then encounters Robotnik and hijinks ensue. You blue speed freak, there's no escape. I now have turbo boost. What's that? Sounds like some kind of washing powder. Wow, it seems like Echo's actually keeping up with him. Oh, no, Sonic's in front of him. And now Robotnik, in another desperate attempt, sets the speed to psychotic and is finally able to catch up with the blue brat until Sonic starts running rings around him, literally. And Robotnik sets the speed to psychotic again and then goes so fast he crashes right on the page. That's actually pretty funny. And Sonic, you okay? Okay, that comic was pretty good too. I sure hope the next comic is just as good as the last two. The art isn't really questionable. Now let's turn to the page and see what... Who in all that is Smeg thought that this was a good representation of our favourite blue boy? Look at him! Look! I could put a free mega CD? Awesome! It seems like Fred's copy of the book has someone who attempted to do the competition. Okay, so here's a message to the person who tried to do the competition. The answer to C is Bat Brain, just saying. Ah, I see. A Shinobi comic and a book featuring Sonic the Hedgehog comics. You know, the thing that the book is about. Now, I haven't played Shinobi, so I can't say if this comic is any good, so... yeah, moving on. Ooh, we got an ad for Sonic 2. So, it seems in this book we get some reviews for hot new Sega games, which aren't really reviews at all, more like summaries of what the games are like. Flintstones! And even more Sega goods with the 6-button arcade power stick. Maybe I should pick one up. How much does one cost? Oh, beans! It's another comic with Sonic chilling at Green Hill Zone while eating Maltesers and drinking cola. I guess it's before chili dogs were his favourite food. But then he realises the woodland animals aren't there, so he levitates off the ground to go see what the commotion is. And whoa! Here's the title: Double Sonic. That's an awful name, but Sonic realises what the problem is when he demolishes this here motor bug. The flicky tells Sonic that the animals are captured in a big old metal capsule, and that's where he's heading. Despite the fact that a page ago he said he didn't know where the animals were, but now he knows what. Once Sonic continues with his trek, he stumbles across some classic gimmicks such as crumbling cliffs, springs. That's it. He rams right into a Buzzmon, freeing an orange Pocky. Alright, and Sonic finally comes across the capsule. He jumps at it, and it was a fake! I can't believe it, the damn flicky lied to him! And Robotnik finally shows up with his classic wrecking ball, and is about to Homer Simpson Sonic, until... Ugh. I'm truly glad we don't see Tails' face for most of the comic, because, my lord, and you can't defend this with, oh, it was made before Tails' design was figured out, because Sonic 2 was already out when this book was released. Anyway, not Tails saves Sonic from Robotnik, and Sonic is like,
I have a cunning plan to solve the problem.
Meanwhile, Robotnik now has amnesia because he can't remember what species Sonic is. Where is that blue rat thing? Show yourself, rat! Yo, here I am, and I'm not a rat. Rat, I'm a hedgehog. Whatever you are, you're about to be a squashed something or other. Like, what was the joke? Well, whatever it wasn't funny. It fired for like 2 seconds, and Sonic leaves. Oh, never mind, he's dead. And it seems like Robotnik is finally about to kill Sonic, until it was a fake! Oh, so that's why it's called Double Sonic. The name still sucks, though. Sonic defeats Robotnik and... the animals were actually trapped in a big old cabin! Okay! And then Sonic breaks the cabin by running a few times, which frees the animals. The end. Well, that sucked. It was a real shame that this comic was so lackluster because the other two were pretty good. So yeah, that's the first Sonic the Hedgehog yearbook. Pretty decent read, but if you haven't read it, you ain't missed much. Either way, let's move on to the second and final yearbook. But Michael, I thought you said you couldn't find a digital scan! And you're kinda right. I couldn't find a digital scan of the whole book. But thankfully, some of the pages were uploaded to the Sonic Wiki Zone, so yeah. Anyways, here's the cover. It's good. Yep, they got Greg Martin to draw this cover, and it looks great. And that means Tails finally looks normal now! And Robotnik is straight up using the Adventures design, which I'm okay with. I'm time to open this book of wonders and... Ooh. And our first comic begins. Sticky Problems. Ugh. We begin with Robotnik making some kind of disgusting thing. Now I see why the comic is called Sticky Problems. because I feel sticky just looking at it. Yeah, the drawings for sticky problems look significantly worse than the first one's comics. Even double Sonic's illustrations look better than this blurry, dull, and unexpressive mess. Anyway, the orange Pocky strikes back, oh boy, and tells Sonic and Tails that Robotnik is up to no good. So Sonic levitates into action once again to see what the commotion is. Oh yeah, Tails is here too, I guess. And just when Sonic is about to bounce on this here spring, it's stuck! So it turns out that the disgusting thing the Robotnik was making, oh, it was just some special instant glue. I mean, you could have just went to the shops and bought some Gorilla Glue, but alright. Oh, look at that, it's the egg toaster from Sonic 2. Too bad it was really easy. I'm getting bored, I'm gonna speedrun this part of the book because too much happens and I just have to... Yeah. Sonic yells at Tails to get a spare pair of shoes. He gets the shoes, Sonic jumps out of his old shoes, he jumps right to the spare pair of shoes. He's got some good aim. And it drives on a cliff. Sprint below! Will it have glue on it? You really know the answer. No, it doesn't. Sonic and Tails are just collecting rings, but Tails misses one, so he goes back to grab it. Except not, because Ego's about to kill him, but Sonic saves it because he's a real good friend. I wish I was a good friend just like Snoic. And then Robotnik boings off a tree and plunges right into his glue factory, and then the whole thing explodes and he gets stuck in glue. The end. Excuse me. What the hell was that? Like, it wasn't awful, but it wasn't great at all, so yeah. Well, that was a bit sticky and disgusting. Maybe Sonic's Diary could save it with a beautiful front cover. There's nothing much to write home about here, other than the fact that apparently Robotnik dressed himself as Tails to ambush Sonic. So for a laugh, I decided to draw Tails Robotnik. Please send me your Tails Robotnik fan art. Speaking of Tails, he's the star of our next comic, Tails' Tail. It's a pun. And he's actually brave enough to jump into a pinball slot machine despite being 8 years old. Tails is my kind of guy. My first time in a pinball slot machine was nothing like this. Actually, I take back that point about Tails being a cool guy. He doesn't want Sonic to show up at all in his story because it's his star comic. Tails, you egocentric piece of crap! He slots the slot and oh no, it's Snoic! And Tails gets really sad. Sonic's in the story after all! Sob! And Sonic is also being a bit of a smeghead because he says it's his yearbook. Great, a piece of Sonic meters now maybe hate the two main heroes more than the villain. I can't believe I just said that. The next few pages about many of the good Doctor's badniks who aren't coloured in for some reason. Oh goody, more Sonic 2 promotion. Oh my god, it's a Sonic costume that actually looks like Sonic, yes! Yes! Also, am I the only one who really likes seeing Sonic in a Formula 1 car? Am I the only one? Okay. Oh goody, yet another comic that actually looks pretty good. It's kind of like a mix of the well-drawn awesomeness of cartoon Concerto and the decent Greg Martin-ness of Speed Demonzzzzzzz. Anyways, the plot is that Robotnik built a spaceship to trap Sonic there and send him into deep space. Whew, that's cold. Sonic is minding his own business until he spots some badniks. Again, but instead of fighting back, he just waltzes right past him. Coward. But oh no, he fell into a hole right into a swimming pool of molten plastic. Not so ace. This is some sort of molten plastic, and it's hardening fast. I can't get out. You don't look so concerned, Sonic. You are literally being trapped in hardening molten plastic, gonna be chucked into a spaceship and sent into deep space on your lonesome. You should be slightly worried about that. I'm getting too upset over nothing, aren't I? Oh yeah, big fan of the Rexon's face here. It's just so ooh. Robotnik yeets Sonic into the ship, and ooh, a conveniently placed heater unit. As Sonic manages to bonk his head onto the unit, and hurrah! The plastic is melting. While Robotnik is mourning at the loss of his rival, Sonic ties his leg to the spaceship, and then... But unfortunately the rope snaps before Robotnik dies, then lands on the seesaw right where Sonic is standing and boings him into the air. No, you killed the Rexon, you monster! And that was Space Hedgehog. Oh yeah, the title is Space Hedgehog. This comic was actually pretty decent. The art was pretty good, mostly. The plot wasn't the worst, and it was significantly better than the other two stupid comics. And here we are with more Sega reviews. And here we got not just Sonic 3, but Sonic CD, Sonic Spibble, and Sonic Chaos. And they're actually reviews with these little tally things. And they gave Sonic 3 the highest ratings, and rightfully so because it's the best Sonic game. And Knuckles. And here we are, the 7th and final comic of the yearbooks. Yeah, I know, all decent things must come to an end. But hopefully we'll go out with a bang. Big Trouble. Ooh, with a title like that, this could be anything. And hopefully no one inserting their weird and sticky fetishes into a piece of Sonic the Hedgehog media. We begin with Sonic, can you get back on the ground? We begin with our heroes running through aquatic ruin and collecting rings. But then the two come across the most terrifying thing a hedgehog and a fox can encounter. A wall! With a big old grounder inside. But surely a bigger bandit can't be that hard to... Well, turns out Robotnik has built some big bandits so he can take over the world. Okay, so they jump on a spring, they jump on some swingy platforms, and all of a sudden they're on a pillar. And then they jump right over the bandit does. But oh no, our heroes have jumped off a cliff. What could possibly happen? You're kidding, right? No, Sonic can't swim. What do you call this? But when Robotnik thinks he's about to spush him, they swim right past him. But oh no, the Badnik's about to eat Robotnik. I can't believe the Badnik exploded. Oh well, Iggy's plan failed once again. The end. There's a quiz, which I can't be bothered to do, so bye-bye, Snoic. So yeah, those were the UK Sonic the Hedgehog yearbooks. What a strange ride this was. As much as I've made fun of these comics for having pretty bad dialogue and less than stellar art, I've gotta be honest, these comics were actually pretty faithful to the source material, probably even more than the Sonic movies were, which is pretty funny considering that the Sonic series wasn't fully established, and the cartoons and comics that were released at the same time weren't super faithful to the games and kinda just did their own thing. So, I've got to give these stories some credit, and if you're wondering where I'd rank these from worst to best, I'ma do that right now. Number 7, Sticky Problems. Number 6, Double Sonic. Number 5, Tails' Tale. Number 4, Big Trouble. Number 3, Space Hedgehog. Number 2, Speed Demons. And finally at number 1, Cartoon Concerto. And that's all from me. I'll see you on the next Miggle the Smeghog. Bye bye!